So we read in the papers, Father in heaven, they said in our National Assembly that our senators confirmed the board nominee from EFCC who started school before he was born. So he started school in 1969, I believe. But he started, no, he was born in 1969. But he started school in 1968. Yeah. And this matter is trending on social media. What exactly do you make of it, the lilies of your view? Let me even ask you first, before I start even rationalizing what I'm thinking. Nima, would you like to start?
That he started school in 1969 or 1960. Let's just assume that somebody put the numbers before themselves. Did he start school at 1 year old while still breastfeeding? That's the question for me. Because in 1969, 1968, a child had to be grown enough for their hand to touch the other ear. For them to qualify for school. There was strict compliance with maturity for primary school.
Primary one, 6 years.
So I take up on in the other side. And how? For me, what's painful the most is that no consequence, country of no consequence, of the administration of no consequence, now allow the person.
No, is that how did even get to the part of confirmation? That's
they confirm me. So no consequence again. You appear before our own representatives. Imagine me, person that is representing me, sitting there, and they allow him. If I was this for myself, will it happen?
Maybe they didn't see it.
Wow. They debated it.
I think it was, well, it has been brought up again, and sometimes, and then when you look at the entity we're talking about, we're talking of EFCC. So these are a set of people that are supposed to be above board, and then to find this mistake, discrepancy, this, you know, maybe as they said, they missed it. So what you need to do immediately is to explain how you may have started school early, or, I mean, primary school, because he may say it was kindergarten, I guess. Maybe he was in kindergarten at age 1. But it seems that he started his primary education, you know, a year before he was born.
Yeah.
That is a huge discrepancy that should have been flagged immediately that they saw it. But if they have missed it, then he should quickly, you know, do the needful, which is either explain to us exactly what the timeline is. Was there a mistake on his birth certificate, or was there a mistake on his school leaving certificate? You know, those are the things that we need to hear from
You only
EFCC.
wonder how many other people have, how many other nominations have been confirmed and stuff like this wasn't flagged.
Yeah. So for me, I think he's just a spiritual somebody. He's a superior spiritual somebody. Yes, now. Yes. Because I really do not understand how we have a panel of people who are supposed to investigate nominations and appointments, look through your certificates, look through your birth certificate, look through everything, and none of them spotted this. None of them. No, so maybe they got, no, maybe they got, yes, now, but he was already, has he not been nominated already? So they were supposed to have done that before putting his name for nominations. It's something that you nip at the board. Nobody would even hear. We were expecting to see this person. He did not meet requirements. That's what we would have heard. Yes, that's spiritual angle. So it could have been that his superior being came and started school before his physical being came. And, but for me, I just feel, they are using us to play 10-10 in this country.
It's not like that.
It's also very disgraceful. You know?
Now, 10-10 will they play for this country.
EFCC.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that itself makes it so weighty. Because EFCC, everybody in EFCC should have been able to go through this really strenuous scrutiny, you know, to ensure that we're getting the best of the best.
To fight the corruption.
Well, you know, in those days, if you want to go for certain offices, they say, are you fit and proper? Do you have the character? They will now go and look for your pedigree, ex-convict, anything in your... In fact, to become SCN, people have started to, you know, say there's nothing who pays higher. Because those days, if they do a publication and your name is on the list for SCN, they're waiting for people to write. If they have anything at all. Some people that have property deals that have gone by, if somebody so much as writes that, you know, you have to wait on the list till you clear that character issue. That goes to it goes to the very root of it. But now the senator representing Jigawa Northeast raised this issue that the nominee is born before he went to primary school before he was born, you know, and he then said, just so that you don't think we need to clear this discrepancy if it is about you know, mistaking or typographical error. And every senator sitting down there, maybe they were tired. just moved on as usual. Wow. And they just confirm A, nay, and they just moved on.
But then there's also
sorry, Miriam, somebody raised this, and nobody else jumped on it. Because the person that raised it said, I just want it to be clear, if there was a mistake in his papers, they should go and do it. Somebody did not say, wait.
Let us handle this.
Don't confirm. Let's sit in.
Yeah, let me finish this call from Abraham if I come to Mariam. Abraham, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, first-time caller.
First-time caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. You see, this age thing is, I think it's a Nigerian thing, and it's been here for a very, very long time. And if you are a very big follower of sports, you know it's like a normal thing for you to reduce your age. Yes. Even at times,
I can hardly hear you. Sports.
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I've been approached several times when I try to apply for things to reduce my age. And you know what I always tell people is that I would rather work very hard and so that I will not need to reduce my age. So I think it's a Nigerian thing and common everywhere.
Thank you for taking us there, Mr. Abraham. What is a Nigerian thing?
Yes.
What exactly?
So everything bad.
So that's what I was going to say. I said maybe the reason why everyone didn't jump on it is because nobody wants you to look further than face value at their own documents. And go and uncover what that they are. They say remove the log in your eye before you remove the speck. So maybe that is what is happening there. And it's true, it is quite a Nigerian story. But many times, we've talked about how sometimes because of years spent in university, and then when you get into the labor market, they want to make sure that you're a particular age. And they do not put into consideration the time for strike and things like that. And so many people, when they find that they're unable to get jobs, quickly address that age thing. We have heard of so many footballers. We have footballers that are twins. The twin will be celebrating 40 years in Nigeria. The one playing football will be celebrating 20 years. So, those things are there. But it's important that, especially when we're dealing
Shouldn't
with...
we start changing this stuff?
Especially when we're dealing with, ministries and institutions like this. We cannot say EFCC. We shouldn't be able to call on or point at anyone that works with the EFCC or the presidency and say, these are your flaws that somehow everyone turned a blind eye towards. It just totally... For that ministry, it just totally, blacklists them.
So this case...
Let me take this call. Frank, are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, and the other thing is good morning, everyone. My name is Frank. In respect of the EFCC, I would not like to... EFCC, there are a lot of compromised people in that sector. I said one of my stories to you on your Facebook. I don't know if you remember me. I have an issue with the former Speaker of the State of Assembly, in which every evidence I provided, I gave them every evidence they need. The former Speaker was a very highly corrupt individual. I gave them whatever they need. Till today, they've not responded.
Frank? We lost that call. So I want us to stay on this Nigerian thing.
Yes, so this is not the Nigerian thing, though it's also common. The Nigerian thing is usually that there's an age limit to employment, there's an early age to retirement, and you've not spent the requisite years in service. So you go and do an affidavit to reduce your age, even though it's on oath. You do that. You claim to have been born later than you were born. So maybe you were born in 1985. You go and claim that, no, I was born in 1991, no, so that you qualify to spend more years in service. You earn more retirement. That's normal. That's more popular. But the place where people adopt late family members' birth certificates, primary school, yes, this one fits more into where you have a very brilliant family member whose certificates are just available. You are the ones who do not go to school, but you have connection.
You're right.
You now adopt it. You now adopt names, everything. I have 2 WAEC certificates, and my parents almost killed me once when an aunt called me and said her daughter was trying to get into the army. And they heard, when you wrote a WAEC, everybody heard that you had your one sitting in your passed it very well. So which one do you want to give your cousin?
Yeah.
And stupid me just said, okay, I'm not using this one. I'm using this one.
Yeah.
I'll give you. So I went to my cell searching for it. My parents, I didn't say anything to them. And they just thought, Auntie, no problem. So we have this trust per child where you have all your school history. And I kept looking. And I then found the statement of results, and I was like, okay, statement of results is okay. And they heard me on the phone. My father just called my mother. This one don't they say result. You know? So they now called me, and I told my father said, no, your names are Nimatala or Holo Akashat. Nobody. Somebody else will have those names. Can you answer like for the character? You that I'm putting all my efforts to give you a good character. Can you vouch for the character of the person who's going to have your names and initials as well?
So we have this thing in our community where it's almost normal. I mean, I know I had a call. I think I've lost that call. You know, where we change names. I mean, I found it really, really...
Change names,
change names and change ages for specific reasons.
Until Nima mentioned it, you know, I was like, it's not impossible. But I remember that I know someone who worked with me for a while, and she was just talking quite casually of how they got results from a certain family member, and how one refused, and how that one that refused to give his result is a wicked person. Wow. Did not want the other one to progress. Wow. So, and unfortunately, it was to get into the police force. And you know, so when I looked at what I was in shock. I was like, I don't understand. Why is this a thing? And then why is it so normal for you to be having a conversation with me? And I remember talking to someone and said, it's normal, though. People are doing it all the time. So that has now become a new normal, but we have to do something about it. Yes. You should be able to, but I always feel that there's a certain generation now that can't go back on their birth certificates and things like that. You should be able to trace it. You know, there was a generation that they didn't have that, and so they swore affidavits. Yes, so
I'm sure the senators would definitely. I'm not sure I'll hang the hang-up here.
If they will do something about it.
Well, I have moved on. Senators, I mean, I would like to hear from the senators, because I really doubt if they will follow through with this kind of confirmation. Maybe they will call him back and review it. They should
recall this nominee. Why? Is because we had somebody who clearly won an election in Bayelsa for name and spelling The party lost an election, won outside. In court, for name, spelling, and data and everything on the certificate. A certificate is extremely important. So if it is extremely important enough to deny a person what he won at an election, it is not for a person not to sit on any board if they don't have it clear. Yes.
So for me, I think people who are coming out to serve publicly need to be very careful, because everything will be checked. So if you had done all of this in this generation where a lot of people have, you know, changed names, changed ages and all of that, and you know that sometime in the future you're going to go out, you need to rethink it. You need to ask yourself, do I want this, or do I go back and make the corrections that I need to make because I'm going to be representing people? It tells a lot. Our children will not have this sort of problem.
Let me tell you why. Yes, we are constantly updating the world about, oh, my child is just 10 years old.
No, I don't even think they are in that mind space to do it. Yes, but I think it's...
okay, a quick break, because we have to wrap up on this. But when we come back, we continue with other topics. Stay with us, Ibrahim.